all of you who listen to Submersion and own an Android device, go to the Google Play Store and download the Podcast Republic app. It's a fantastic app that allows you to get all of your favorite podcasts directly on your Android device. I personally use the app and I love it. I can search for the podcast I want to listen to, select it as a favorite, and have it just a click away. Make sure to select Submersion as a favorite so you don't miss any of our new episodes. Again, the app is the Podcast Republic app, available on Android devices. Episode 113.
Woo!
Here we go.
Here we go. We are wrapping up Anime Month.
Finally.
And we are doing video for the first time ever. I don't know. I don't think you're going to see this anywhere, but we are looking at each other as we record.
I minimized it.
Oh, why?
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Because he doesn't care about us, but we like to see his pretty face.
But I saw Jamie do the woo for the first time ever. That'll be trivia someday.
Yeah, you guys really haven't seen me much, right? You've never actually really seen my face.
I've seen some photos, but that's about it.
You just looking at my photo?
I haven't seen you in movement.
I've seen you more than you know.
In motion.
Right? Oh, thank you.
Zach, a member of the FBI.
Well, I guess when I'm invited to Zach's wedding, it'll be a big time. That'll be the first time we're probably face to face.
Probably.
Right. When that happens.
I did send the invitation to Kyle and you. I left off Kelsey, so.
Good. That's fine. Whatever, man.
Best wedding ever.
She doesn't need to go. Just be Jamie and I cutting a rug, doing our thing, whatever. It's getting awkward, I can tell, because now Zach's looking at me like, what the hell are you talking about? But, man, all right. I had something kind of weird happen. Something crazy with the times. Have any of you guys undergone the COVID testing yet?
No. Nope. Have not.
Oh, man. I got a little bit of a cough. I'd say a little bit. It was pretty bad. I was like, this could be it. This could be my time. Eventually it's going to happen, right? Somebody's got to get it. When got the testing, if anybody has undergone that testing, you know what I'm talking about. They pull out this Q-tip. I kid you not, man. It is like this long. And sorry. If you're listening, you don't know how long
Kyle's holding up a banana. He has a banana in his hand.
Yeah, I've got a big banana.
Listeners, it's this long.
It's this long. Just believe it. It's this long.
As the first and last week, we'll use video.
Yeah. They shove this thing. Well, they tell it. First, I pull up. This kid is screaming in the car next to me, like blood-curdling screaming. I'm like, oh, my God, this does not instill confidence in this test for me right now. I get out.
You're comparing how you were going to handle a test to a kid?
Oh, if you heard these screams, you're just like,
shit, this kid's losing it. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm done for it.
I'm just gonna burn out and get out of this tent. So you pull into this thing, and somebody comes out, and they show you what they're going to stick in your nose, and they say, okay, we're going to shove this so far back in, you're probably going to cry, and you're going to want to cough. And I was like, that's really bizarre. I mean, why would I want to cough? And we need to hold it in there for 5 seconds.
Oh.
Okay. So they jam this thing in, and I'm like I can feel I'm crying, and I'm like, trying not to cough. And it's for a little bit, and then they're like, okay, 1, 2. I'm like, what the hell, man? The timer should have already counted. You've been in here for like 3 seconds. What's going on? But man, when they pull that thing out, whew, it's like somebody ran a pipe cleaner right through. You are breathing better than you ever have before. It's crazy.
Really?
We're gonna walk in on Kyle doing that regularly now.
It's like running a pipe cleaner through your nose, man. It was pretty.
Kyle, that sounds terrible to me.
It was not pleasant.
I thought they had some other test that they were rolling out by now because it was such an unpleasant test and it was discouraging people from going to get it. That they came out with something else.
I don't know. That's the test.
Wow.
That's the test that
I can tell you.
a major medical center.
I know. I think
still doing.
I think the idea is that the test that Kyle's describing is the one with the highest, sensitivity and specificity. So like they don't, and there's other ones that exist that are much less invasive but not as accurate, and they haven't been approved, but they probably should be in use for a variety of reasons. Like you can use those tests to do broader testing and all kinds of stuff, but they kind of stick with the one that's the most accurate. Science.
Yeah.
It's science stuff.
Science, bitch.
It's science stuff.
Yeah. If anyone is wondering, I do not did not have it. So,
And that was good to know.
I think you
'cause-
tricked Alex though with your phrasing.
Yeah.
hey man, that's the
That needed
phrasing
called out, Ben. Good job.
Yeah, I was like, what the heck, man?
Yeah, because I had borrowed
That's
a computer from you, and I was looking at that computer a little side eye. I was like, COVID computer over there.
Yeah, it might have been, man. Might have been.
Because
Anyways,
what'd you say? It was like COVID was undetected, and Alex was like, "Holy shit! It can like fly under the radar now."
Yeah, undetected is what they say. I don't know. That's the Mayo terminology. I didn't come up with that analogy. That's what they're doing. So, undetected is what they called it. Anyways,
Kyle, feel free to cut yourself off with
I was gonna
siren
say.
anytime now.
all right. So you guys want to talk about something?
Dive!
What began as an innocent conversation among friends would soon spiral out of control and later be referred to by future generations as the eighth wonder of the modern world. Mac East Studios takes you on the journey of your lifetime as your captains, the artist formerly known as Brom, Jamie the Ointment, Kyle El Capitan, and the Gruesome Twosome present Submersion.
That was pretty
Wow.
sweet.
Yeah,
I
Kyle
got to
gave
see
us a whole
Kyle
performance.
perform that for the first time.
It's pretty incredible.
The
Yeah.
listeners really are missing out. This podcast
really
is
are.
really kind of bad, now that I think about it.
Yeah,
Right?
now it's just too visual for us, and
Yeah.
you guys don't know at all what's going on. I see Zach trying to hide something. What are you eating something you shouldn't be eating over there? Yeah,
Probably
he is.
chocolate.
Oh my, he's got it.
No.
Chocolate on his tongue.
Trust me, I'm out of chocolate. Sucks.
He does. He sucks on chocolate.
But I'm
I've heard
out.
it.
I got no
heard
chocolate.
it.
I had a good workout today, though.
Some
It's not a
gains.
good sub for chocolate, though. It's not a good substitute for chocolate.
Working out.
Yeah, doesn't even mesh, man.
All right, guys, here we go.
Okay.
We're trying it. I got the 20-sided die. This is
What's
it.
what's this for again?
This is if we end the podcast, I think, right?
That's it. There's no like no benefits. Like if we,
If we roll a 20, what happens?
yeah,
Do I get to pick the next movie?
sure.
The viewer write-in.
Oh.
Oh, they get to
Viewer
pick.
write-in.
It's gonna
Any
be
movie.
Waterworld. It's
Any
gonna be
movie.
Waterworld. Still gonna be Waterworld.
And one, we end the podcast?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is
All right.
it, though. So, listeners, this is going to be a smash cut. But this is it. So,
All right, turn your camera to it, Zach.
we're
Oh,
going
Jesus.
live.
We're not going live. This is terrible, terrible podcasting. Horrible podcasting. It's just a terrible choice.
Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're ready.
And no dead air. 4.
Oh, thank
right,
God.
we're
Oh,
boy.
dangerously close. A 4.
All right. Still in it.
Wow.
And now that we're definitely still in it, what did we watch this week?
We watched a anime from the early 2000s, I think 2003 or 2002 it started, called Full Metal Panic. I've heard of Full Metal Alchemist, but I had never heard of Full Metal Panic until we did some research, or rather tapped the fine young men and women and others at the Discord group Our Star Blazers, who pointed us in the direction of mini submarine anime, and Full Metal Panic will round out our anime month. And it's a I'm just gonna say it. It's a problematic one.
No spoilers, no spoilers. But they definitely recommended this one.
I wouldn't say it was recommended. It was very objective. This has submarines in it, and that is what I asked for. So we got it.
I mean, that is accurate. So, yeah, I don't know if we have to say anything much more in terms of like voice acting or anything like that. It did seem like this is quite popular in terms of continuing to have things produced. Like it has a bunch of mangas, a bunch of, I think, television shows and movies were produced, and a lot of the soundtracks were released and that kind of stuff. So it does seem like it was kind of a, popular, at least in some ways. But anything else to say before we dive right in?
Yeah, it's got a pretty good score on IMDb of 7.6 stars.
Yeah, it's
Really?
high, higher than I would have thought. But TV shows are always a little different, so it's hard to tell whether that's high. High or low. Probably not low, but maybe in the middle. All right, Full Metal Panic. We open, and actually it's weird. We watched 4 episodes. The very beginning of the first episode and the 4th episode really give you an idea of what the show is. And then the middle of what we watched was a bunch of bullshit. So
That's very accurate.
we open, and it's kind of like this very artistic, kind of cool scene of like someone being rescued in some ways. It's like a woman in a car with a guy, and they're like, he's like, don't worry. And she's clearly traumatized and like in shock kind of. And they're
So much
driving
so
along.
that she bites the guy's hand.
Oh yeah. She's like,
and draws blood, and he remains pretty calm.
she is panicked.
Yeah.
I'd even say Full Metal panicked. And and a helicopter comes up and is basically like, not so fast, and basically kills the guy, and is about to kill the girl as well, when all of a sudden a couple mechs come out of and start to do battle. And we see one of the mechs kind of grab the helicopter and destroy it on its own. And that's something that comes up, and they say like, oh my God, I can't believe you actually took on that helicopter like one-on-one with the mech. But he did. And then out pops of a mech, our main character named, what is it, Suzuki? These names. Suzuki?
Sasuke?
Yeah, Sasuke,
Oh, shoot.
Sagara.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like Susuke or something.
Yeah, Susuke
Sasuke.
Sagara. And he's also accompanied in a mech by a guy named Kurtz Weber. And they are part of this kind of special... are they kind of an independent anti-terrorist organization, it seems like? Extra governmental group.
Paramilitary.
Yeah, called Mithril.
Mm-hmm.
And they are, they come and rescue this girl. And they kind of fly back and end up going into the submarine. And that's kind of the headquarters of this group, is a submarine that's prowling around. And we're like, oh man, the promise of the show is through the roof. Except we're informed that our, guy, Susuke, Sagara, Kurtz, and Melissa, Mao, this trio is going to go and protect Kanami Chidori, who is, I guess, they've heard through the grapevine, is a target for kidnapping.
Yeah, and so we do have a few clips here. Like Jamie mentioned, this was a very similar scene, I thought, to Atlantic Rim. We got a description of the fight between the helicopter and the mech, and I mean, it's pretty darn close. Let's just play it.
No, if you take a quick look at the M9 specs, you'll see that it's quite possible.
Here it comes. The hind is closing in fast on this poor defenseless babe. Ah! Here comes Sosuke, grabs that hind and throws his big ass body to the wild. Kaboom!
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean,
that kaboom at the end, I think, seals it.
yeah, it really does. And that guy is kind of
how should we describe him?
it, man? All right, so he's a little cocky. You think like, oh, this guy's like he's like the loudmouth at first, because also, I think you said Melissa is her name.
Yeah.
She comes up and she's like, hey, we have to go. And he's, acting like he's real hot stuff, and she's not feeling it so much.
No.
We have a lot of clips right here at the beginning, so.
Stop leering. It makes you look ugly. No, I take that back. You're just ugly.
Whatever you say, babe. I've been a front page model for the tag. One look at me, and there goes Cupid's bullet through your heart.
Loser.
Oh boy.
Now listen to me, you bitch. I'll have you clawing my back and begging for more till you can't take it.
Yeah, man. Some hardcore stuff.
I don't know. Like, do these clips isolated away from the show sound like a
Way
like a
worse.
mid '90s adventure game or something?
Yes.
Oh,
And it's that
boy.
poppy
Yeah.
music that they had going like constantly.
What is that? What
Like,
is that
even
music?
the introduction, I don't know if you guys noticed, but like immediately, the first 5 seconds of that's like Full House. Like shot for shot, beat for beat was like Full House. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Oh boy. And anyways, Kurtz ends up being the guy who's leering the most at these high school students, because this trio
yeah,
is assigned
dude.
to protect Konami, and they keep on calling her kind of like the Whispered. She's one of the Whispered, and so that's why she's targeted. And I don't get a full idea of what that is through the 4 episodes, but I'm sure through the series you get a better idea of what that means. But she's a target of terrorist organizations trying to get something from her. She's some kind of MacGuffin of sorts for them.
And at this point, Kurt goes full on creep mode.
I know
because they get a photo of Konami, the target,
right?
And
Konami Chitteray. This is going to be one foxy lady in a few years.
The photo is 4 years old.
Oh my God!
Miss Chittery is 16.
Oh my God!
Where can I get a photo of that version?
And immediately right there, I was like, what the hell are we watching, man?
Oh, and it gets kind of even crazier.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it does. We've got some clips for later. But
so
I know we stacked a bunch up right here, but yeah, it gets weirder.
So he's like a total creepo already. But then, Sagara, or do they call him Susuke?
Susuke.
Susuke? Yeah. So Susuke, he's the one who's sent in to go to high school. And before he goes into the high school, you're kind of like, they kind of make it out like, oh, you're kind of a weirdo. They talk about how he like never has a girlfriend. He doesn't really know how to interact with people. He's just like super duper extra into military stuff. And I guess he was kind of born into this. I don't know if they ever elaborate on his like background and how that ended up being, but because he kind of looks young, I guess he's the one that's going to go and pretend to be a high school student. But he's like...
And they were even trying to coach him up on it. They're like, okay, here's some things that you might need. And they like give him a condom. He's like, why does anybody need this?
Right.
And he's like, I think I've used these like twice or something. And somebody's like, oh my God, like this guy's got laid. And he's like, yeah, these are great to hold water in the backwood or in the jungle or something. They're like, what the hell is this guy talking about?
Yeah. He's a lot younger too than... They never say his age, do they?
No, I don't think so. I think
they actually do that. It might have been episode 5, which I watched like half of, but it actually shows him with his mentor, and he's like a young boy, like doing these military operations. So like he's been doing military operations his whole life.
Yeah, and I know.
So he's a young adult now. If you
read some of about the characters, the captain of the submarine is 16. So I do think. They are, a lot of them are quite young when they're actually like even high up in the ranks. And so I think maybe he's supposed to be about that age, like 16, 17, 18, something like that.
Yeah, I think he's a lot younger than.
But he comes across as older because, he just comes off so weird. So even when he first goes into the high school, he's kind of going in and everyone's kind of stopped by the teacher and said, hey, how you doing? And he stopped and they found like a gun, and the teacher keeps on being like, you can't have this toy around. And he, being, I guess, an idiot, is like, it's not a toy, it's a gun. Also, I'm like a military person. I'm super into military stuff. And also, I'm clearly not a high school student. And he just is so bad at being undercover, which I guess is kind of the point of the show and where the humor is supposed to come from, is that he's so inept. And yet everyone just kind of like, instead of being like, oh, clearly he's here for some other reason, they just are like, what a total weirdo, right? Which is like a high school reaction to something like that. He's just one of those people who's super into military. What a weirdo. Then he's
he's quick to pull that gun in many situations.
Oh no, he's pulling that gun all over
of school.
Yeah, in this high school.
What the hell is this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
It's
not great. No, it's not really great. And Kurt and Melissa are doing surveillance on Konami, trying to, just keep an eye on her, make sure that she does not get taken. And I don't know how the heck they bugged her apartment or wherever she's living, but Kurt's digging it, and it's getting a little creepy.
It appears our angel has low blood pressure and doesn't do well in the morning, don't you think?
What's that? Yes, a high school girl taking a morning shower.
You're like, what the hell, man? This show.
Not for us. I don't think so. And so, this whole beginning part is him kind of being introduced to the class and stuff like that. And he's totally out of place. He's been talking about military stuff. There's one kid in the class who's kind of like perks up at that. He's like super into these military magazines and stuff like that. And then otherwise he kind of is sweating bullets when they ask him like what his favorite song is or whatever. But because they prepped him,
he doesn't know.
He is able to pull out that he is a fan of these like 2 bands that are popular right now with the kids. So,
and if you want to hear how awkward
himself.
he is when they ask him where he's from, it's just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, if anybody asks you where you're from and you list it off like this, you're undercover.
Questions for Mr. Sagara?
Yeah. Could you please tell us what country you're from, Sosuke?
Yes. Afghanistan, Lebanon, Cambodia, Iraq, Colombia.
Well, it seems like you've been overseas for quite some time now.
It's like, what?
Yeah, and was it in
that's
the
where he's
first?
from, man.
Was it the first or second episode where he runs into the shower while they're changing for the softball game
With his gun drawn.
with his gun drawn? I can't remember. It doesn't really matter.
The first.
Because the second episode, the first episode is kind of like introducing his undercover operation into school, and like what they're doing is protecting her, this blue-haired angel, as Kurz would say. And but then the second one is kind of about how he keeps on being like kind of a bumbling fool and keeps on hurting himself in a lot of different ways. One of them is that he has, he jumps into the shower area while everyone's changing for softball because he thinks there's potentially some threat there. And everyone is shocked and obviously appalled by this behavior because it's criminal in some ways. But then Konami actually beats him up and handcuffs him and stuff. So he has to end up going back to his apartment, like still tied to a chair. And you can see he's like a little intrigued by this, the fact that she's like kind of so
handcuffs?
bold. Well, so bold to take him out when she's not happy with his behavior or whatever. And so the next episode, you have a bunch of other situations like this as well. He's kind of coming off super weird, and he's always there. He keeps on saying like, "Oh, what a coincidence," right? Like, it's just a coincidence that I'm here while you're around. It's not that I'm like doing anything, and I'm definitely not undercover, like protecting you. It's a coincidence, like a big old coincidence. And she's getting really angry that he keeps on saying coincidence, and he keeps on hurting himself trying to protect her from imaginary threats. So like she's picking up a statue, and he thinks it's someone lunging at her, and he like breaks the statue and hurts himself. She's like talking or trying to scare like a friend of hers, or a friend is trying to scare her, and he thinks, oh, that's a problem. He pulls out his gun, rushes at her, and then ends up bowling over the teacher and that kind of stuff. So he keeps getting in trouble, getting hurt, all this kind of stuff, and that's like a problem. But it culminates in him actually rescuing her because he's like in a cafe and kind of watching her, and there's a guy who leaves his briefcase there, and he's convinced it's a bomb, but Konami, she just wants to help the guy out and like runs after him to bring him his briefcase, and a truck almost runs her over, and he lunges after her and is able to push her out of the way, and she's like really grateful, and they do have kind of a moment of,
and for what it's worth, one of the mechs, the invisible mech, stops the truck
and crashes the truck.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because Kurt is watching in a invisible 5-story mech, always. Kind of odd.
Oh,
and then when you say they have a moment here, Jamie, what happens is...
yeah, that was the weirdest thing. Okay, so sorry, go ahead.
Super weird, man.
Sorry, it's not just a moment. It's
so
very strange.
They're like collapsed on the ground. She's like, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much." And then he just cops a feel right.
It was
there.
weird. I couldn't tell
what the hell was that?
Yeah, I couldn't tell what was happening. Like, I guess the idea was that it was like by accident or something.
But then there's even they even zoom in on his hand, and he's like squeezing.
Yeah.
What am I watching here, man?
It's really weird. I don't know why.
This show. Why'd they do this?
Great show. And so is it the third episode it's the third episode where it gets really even crazier than this. This is the second episode. This is kind of a lot of stuff. She's really angry at him for obviously copying the feel. We start to get
then
some.
There's Like
Sorry, go
right
ahead.
at the end of this one, like when she's yelling at him, all of a sudden, for whatever the cartoon angle, they do like an upskirt with the wind blowing.
Weird.
And I'm like, why'd they do this? Why? Why in God's name is this happening? Why are we watching this right now?
Yeah, I guess we didn't really even mention that Kaname is like pretty much always in a schoolgirl uniform. That is beyond kind of stereotypical. Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And so, we start to get some, I mean, the third episode where it starts to pick up some scenes with some of the outside stuff and kind of get an idea of some of these outside forces that are occurring. Like we start to see the bad guy interacting with Soviets and, kind of talking about the Whispered and how they are getting information from these, these different people that they are trying to kidnap and stuff like that. The type of person that Kaname is. And we'll also see that on the headquarters submarine, there's like a young girl, and I guess she was 16. That's what it said online. And she's like the captain of the ship. She's got like a couple advisors who are much older, but she comes across a little bit like uncertain and nervous and that kind of stuff. And I guess that's kind of the point. Is like she's the captain and she's the captain of the ship, but everyone perceives her as being really frail. And so I'm not really. I don't understand. I guess they'll explain at some point why it is that she is the captain. She must be in some way destined for it, or they know that she'll become like the best. I don't even know.
I don't know.
It did seem kind of odd. Relies. I wouldn't even say necessarily relies. I mean, she is dependent on her advisors at this point, it seems like.
Yeah, she like every time she says something, she kind of says like a command, and she's like a little uncertain. And but she almost seems happy when the advisors are like, "Yes, I agree." And she's like, "Okay, good." So she just comes across as really nervous and stuff like that. And I guess later in the series also it's revealed that she's kind of got like a crush on Susuke. And so like I guess they're similar ages and they must have known about each other or heard about each other or whatever. They're kind of like the rising stars of the group or whatever. And so we get those two different aspects going on. And at the same time, things are, pretty much shot because of the copying the feel and the such. Things are kind of shot. And so they give him a day off. They're like, hey, take a day off. And instead, Kurz goes out and he pretends to be just like a tourist. He's like, I think he's trying to pretend. Is he trying to pretend to be like an American or something like that?
No, I think it was Swedish, man.
Is it Swedish?
I don't know.
And he's like, he befriends these girls. And in particular, Kaname's best friend, who's, kind of this stereotype of sorts. She's always taking pictures and stuff like that. And he comes back totally drunk, which is crazy in its own right, because these girls are 16. And he's like shit-faced now. And
and he's like, oh, they just kept pouring me drinks. I'm like, what is going on here? I don't know what age you can drink in Japan.
I don't know either, but probably not 16. It
might actually be 16.
Could be. And he's like super drunk, and everyone's like, what an idiot. And he's like, oh, you want some sushi, whatever. But as he's doing this, he's really drunk. They see someone creeping up along the apartment building of Kaname. And so they're like, spring into action. The super drunk guy's all of a sudden a sniper on the top of the building. It's like, what's
that was
going
the
on?
most ridiculous thing. They're like, all right, get on the roof of the building next door and you handle the gun. Like, I've done this a million times.
And then Susuke, he kind of jumps over there and confronts what looks like potentially the kidnapper. And it turns out instead to be that kid from school who is super into military as well. But he's also super into stealing girls' panties. So in line with the rest of the series is the scene that is really creepy.
Yeah.
Everything about this is just like super weird. Like, why did they do any of this?
It is. I don't know. And so, like, I guess this guy got roped into stealing the panties by upperclassmen.
Oh, right.
And so him and Susuke are like just having this heart-to-heart about military stuff. And while they're on the balcony, and then at this time, they're just spending way too much time up there. All of a sudden, Kaname comes out and sees Susuke holding her underwear in his hand. And if things were sour before after that car rescue, it's getting a lot worse right now.
Yeah, and she kind of like explodes a little bit inwardly, and she takes it out on him because she's in charge of organizing this trip to Okinawa, where she assigns all the jobs, and she assigns a bunch of jobs to everyone, and everyone's really happy with how she organizes this trip, and he makes him the garbage man. So basically, he has to deal with all the garbage, and makes like a list of rules for him to follow, and he's like, okay. At the same time, Mithril at the submarine launches an attack on a whispered research place in the Soviet Union, and is able to destroy it. And the captain, again, this young girl, is like really concerned about civilians and casualties and that kind of stuff. And she's clearly taking this hard, but she makes the tough decision and says, "Okay, let's do it. We're going to bomb this place." And by bombing it, they basically say, "Okay, the threat is over. Konami's not going to get kidnapped anymore because USSR was the one's going to be doing it. And so, hey, everyone, you're off. You're fine. You don't have to worry about this anymore. Susuke, take a break and go on the trip to Okinawa. It'd be weird if you disappeared immediately, and just enjoy yourself. Kind of go along, regardless." And so that's our introduction to episode 4. Is kind of we know it's the threat's not really gone because they show the person who's in charge, kind of making that clear, but they think it's pretty much safe at this point. And then are we gonna recap the 4th one? Yeah, I guess we must, right?
Oh, we have to, man. We have to.
We gotta get into it. I guess the 4th one, there is some more submarine action. The 3rd one is probably where the captain kind of swings around her dick a little bit the most, right? Wouldn't you say? She shoots off the missile.
You had to get that in there.
It's all a metaphor. It's all a metaphor.
Yeah, they got a briefing mission, I think, on the submarine, right, or something like that.
Yeah, really. I mean, even this part of it, when they're off to Okinawa, and things go sideways pretty quickly because they're all going through the airport, and Susuke is trying to talk to Konami, but she's really not having any of it because she's still upset about the how to describe this, the panty raid, I guess, the panty issue.
Yeah, I mean that's a good way to describe it.
Yeah. So she's like, "Get on my face," and she's really distracted. So they all end up on the plane, and they're starting to go, and while they're up in the air, and unbeknownst to anyone on the plane, our main assassin bad guy, whose name is what, Gorgon? Is that right? Goron. He has taken out the pilots and basically has steered it towards a base in the
autocratic zone of Kanka.
I was going to say, yeah, it's not the USSR. It's some autocratic, independent location that now exists, near or within the USSR. And so they kind of steer it over there, and they land the plane, and it becomes a hostage situation. And even on the submarine, they're not really sure who is doing this. Like, okay, well, clearly something has happened, but presumably this is just like a regular hijacking, and they're going to release everyone. And so we just got to focus on getting Konami back because she must be the target for this, but all the rest will be saved. Meanwhile, Susuke recognizes Goron, and Goron kind of recognizes him.
Yeah.
He's like, that's weird. That guy's here. Or, thinks that guy's here. But, in terms of getting stuff done, he is forget it, whatever. We got what we need, Konami. Let's get her into the research facility. It's going to take about 36 hours or something or whatever to get the information out of her. So we better get this going anyways. And we're going to blow these people up anyways. Because Susuke goes and finds that they just got a big old bomb right in that plane, and they're ready to blow it up and kill everyone. And he quickly communicates back to the submarine. He's like, guys, guess who's here? His name is Goron. Ever heard of him? And everyone on the submarine's like, oh yeah, we heard about him. And he's basically been this thorn in their side for a while, and he had faked his death at one point. They killed him. Or they thought, and clearly that had been a double or something. And so they're like, shit, if it's Goron, then all bets are off. He's probably going to kill everyone. He's a maniac. And so we get some scenes of Susuke going around and like doing his mission, and they're very clear. They're like, main thing is rescue those hostages, and then we can focus on Kaname. Don't go after Kaname. And they're kind of going back and forth, like, he's not going to go after Kaname, right? And the admiral on the submarine, the advisor, is like, I've known him for a long time. Susuke has never let emotions get in the way. And they're kind of like, are we sure though? Because he's like pretty into Kaname though. And we see him kind of debating the same way. He keeps on imagining that these terrible things are happening to her. And so he's like, I know what I'm supposed to do is not go after her, but I can't stop myself. And that's the end of the episode.
I know. That's it.
And probably the next episode opens with Kaname being killed. And so Susuke is also killed. And then we spend the rest of the time in the high school, just like following the everyday lives of the kids in the high school.
Incorrect. 1 minute recap of episode 5. Sasuke rescues Kaname from a evil female scientist. The two shots that they heard was the scientist threatening Kaname, who was trying to escape. But she's fine. Sasuke runs with Kaname through a warehouse or whatnot and finds a couple of mechs that haven't been activated yet. And he hops in one and pilots one, and now Kaname realizes that this guy is more than meets the eye, and all of these coincidences haven't been coincidences. He's obviously a very gifted mech pilot, and he gets into a mech versus mech battle with Goron. Goron says he knew he recognized him. It's Sasuke from Cambodia or wherever they crossed paths in the past. And pretty cool mech battle, and Kurtz comes in while Kaname and Sasuke escape. Sort of. They miss the planes. The planes leave thinking that the planes, I guess they thought they had Kaname and Sasuke on the airplane or whatnot, but now they're left behind on the runway, and the episode ends, and Kurtz is doing hand-to-hand combat with Goron.
And that's the end of that.
Clutch.
That's that.
Wow.
So I ended up watching a 5th episode because it really seemed like it was catching its stride. Not to suggest that I actually enjoyed the series.
Watching this one?
But no, I really felt like it was revealing what the whole series was going to be, and that there was this really weird prelude of 3 episodes in high school, and I don't know, it seems to run counter to what you would expect for a show to do if you're trying to capture an audience. You want to really bait the hook and reel them in here a little bit, but they lead off with that, and it lost us. It lost Alex. Alex could only watch 1 episode, but episodes 4 and 5 were way more watchable in my opinion.
Yeah, no. And then I watched episodes 6 through 24, so 1 minute recaps of 6 through 24. Okay,
all right, go.
So episode 6. No. It's really weird. It's almost like the very beginning when this show first opens. I was like, this is really cool. It was like artistic, interesting, all this kind of stuff. And then you have all this stuff in, like, they literally spend the beginning of the series almost like they were trying to have people stop watching the show before then being like,
100%.
Now you can watch the show. Now you can get it. Now it feels okay. Like everything is just basically like, we're going to drive away everyone who wants to watch the show.
Yeah. And I mean, even if you reeled people in with episodes 1 through 3, who were like, wow, this is awesome. Like, I feel like they're going to hate the rest of the series.
Yeah. They're like, where are all the upskirt shots? Like, come on.
And I'm sure they pepper that in here and there. But it definitely, it was a completely different show for episodes 4 and 5. Yeah. 5 was pretty cool with the mech combat, which felt very different from 4, which was more of like espionage and hijacking and all of that, and 5 was kind of like Gundam Wing almost.
It is kind of weird because I'm looking at the kind of like the really short synopses of each of the episodes, and they like these. This is like a little series. It's like 4, 5, 6, 7, where it's like during the battle with Gurren, stumbling, blah blah, and then 8. It's like when Shirai asks Kaname out. There's jealousy or whatever. And it's like, wait, are we back in the high school?
Back to school.
It's really weird. So, yeah, I don't know.
Reviews. I've already kind of given it, and
are we doing love it or hate it, or no? We don't have that.
No, we usually do. We wrap up with love it or
sorry.
hate it.
Okay, yeah.
We don't want to taint our own reviews here, man.
Yeah, and I already kind of gave mine. I would say 4 and 5 is watchable, but not where I'd want to watch it. There's some other animes that I've been tempted to actually watch more of it now when I get a free moment. Again, Space Battleship Yamato being one. This will not be one that I watch more of, although I see the merit, at least in 4 and 5, with the mech combat being very, very fun in the 5th one. But unless it's all of that all the time, count me out on this one. And on the sub-action, there wasn't much sub-action. It kept showing the same exterior shot. It was a weird 3D animation, which was a different animation style, and they just kind of reversed it on one episode. But it was the same shot every time of like the sub coming right at the camera.
Yeah.
For episode 1 and 2, it was like the same direction. You saw like the left side of the hull. And then on the 3rd episode, they reversed. You could just tell they flipped it, the canvas, like over the horizontal axis or vertical axis rather. And you saw the right side of the hull coming at the camera, and then it cuts to the inside where it's just people deliberating. So there's really no submarine action or content. This is one of those where there's just a submarine in it. So there wasn't a lot on that merit.
They launched one missile.
Oh, that's right. They launched one missile.
Yes.
But
so
that's about it.
They flood the tubes. They sent off that missile.
That's about it. It had submarines. We didn't watch it in vain. But I think I'm going to give it torn between a 1.5 and a 2. If I'm going to give it on 1 through 4, which is what you guys all watched as well, I think we go with a 1.5 on it.
I'm going to jump in because I'd say the same thing as you. I've kind of spoiled a little bit how I felt about this. It's like there's a piece of 1 and then most of 4, which is kind of what you want to see. The rest is just like a series of red flags that make me concerned about watching the rest of the series. Where it's just like, even if it turned out to be kind of like what episode 4 continues, you'd think that, as you say, like these red flags continue to crop up and are sprinkled throughout. And it's just like every time you have to be like, ugh, as like Kurtz is like hitting on like a 14-year-old or something, where you're like, come on, like I don't want to watch this. I don't care to see this kind of stuff. And it's just a really weird show, and kind of being someone who doesn't watch anime, I think I'm a little susceptible to being like, oh, anime is just a series of some kind of stereotypes that I have in my head. This kind of lands pretty squarely in those stereotypes, and that's too bad, because I mean, obviously we watched a number of anime now that don't fall into those stereotypes, but it does seem like this one really went pretty hard towards that, almost as if it was like a joke, almost like they were trying to just be a stereotype in some ways.
You're right. This is like the like South Park version of the submarine anime or whatnot. Like, it really did perpetuate the stereotypes that give it a bad name.
Yeah, and it's weird. I didn't really understand. Like, if you watch the first 3 episodes, you'd think this whole thing is supposed to be a comedy. And I'm not sure that's even the case. Like, it seems like there's obviously comedic elements, but I think it's still at heart an action series. And yet the first 3 are basically just a series of laughs, and some of the laughs kind of unsavory, in how they're brought about. So I do think, I guess it's interesting. I was going to come in at a 2. Now, the more I've talked about it, I think I'm probably closer to what you said. So yeah, 1.5.
1.5. Zach, you want to go next? You want me to go next?
I'll go. There's not much to be said. You guys kind of took all the good answers.
That's why you got to jump in early. You got to jump right in there.
No, I kind of already said it, right? Literally right in the opening, when I got those Full House vibes, I was like, this is not what I want an anime to be like at all. And then it went on so long. And then I'm sitting there and I'm watching this trailer, or like this title, and it's like a trailer. It's too long. And then she fell out. And that was convenient timing. That's something I had written down. And the helicopter was missing like every shot at the beginning, which was just
oh my god, dude! It unloaded.
I couldn't understand that.
Couldn't hit her.
It was stupid.
It was.
Then you had that wicked weird transition inside the submarine where it like went to freaking 1999. Like, what was that? Transformers, the animal version, CGI style stuff to show the sub, and then you went back into the sub, which was back to like modern day animation. So it's crazy.
They did it a couple times too. In episode 4, they did that as well.
I'm like, I just don't like it. So then, I think, Ben and you both said it. There's barely anything really with submarines or even that much of underwater. None of the characters are interesting. The damn Full House opening. I wrote that twice. Episode 2, nothing interesting. Episode 3, same. Episode 4, meh. I'm done with it. Over. Already lost interest. Not going to finish it. And I blame the company. And I blame the creator. That you failed at making captivating anime. Because 3 episodes in, you get 60 minutes of my time. That's it.
What's the
0.5?
0.5. Wow.
Terrible show.
There we go.
What's the you made me think. What's the reference with Full Metal? Like we hear, obviously,
Full Metal
jacket. A Full Metal jacket is a type of round or ammunition, but then there's Full Metal Alchemist and then Full Metal Panic. What does that even mean?
No idea.
See, I think Alex looked that information up. So,
where's the panic? Where's the panic set in, man? I don't get it.
All right. Well, I think that's all the reviews. I'm going to pencil in 6 for Kyle. I think, obviously.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I'm just going to put that guy right in there. 6.
Brom had mentioned in another episode, what one were we watching? The Arpeggio Blue Steel, where you said you had a moment. You're like, dude, what in God's name?
I totally forgot. That is exactly what I was going to say. Where it was like I was doing something. Like today, I still had to watch the 4th episode, and I was working on something for work, and I was like, okay, it's lunch break, and I was like, I guess I'll watch this during my lunch break. And as I was doing it, I was just like, I could do so much better things with my lunch break than fucking watching this.
Right?
Like, why am I watching this? Ugh.
Right. And you wonder what's going on. What led us to this point? Why are we watching this? And not for me, man. Like all the dude creeping on minors. What the hell is going on with that? And like then nobody was like batting an eye.
That's where Full Metal Panic came from, because they were all minors.
Oh, there you go. Minors.
Should be called Full Minor Panic.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Hey, yeah. Good God. But yeah, I don't know. They had their teammate Melissa and everybody just ignored. They're like, no, you know what? Why don't we go ahead and go after these minors? Because that's what we're into. And I don't know who this show is made for, honestly. Like, think about the things that the first 3 episodes are going to attract, right? What are you looking for? You're looking for like teenage boys or something? Are people who are interested in some kind of like high school weird drama thing also interested in like the KGB kidnapping people and submarines taking out bases to like, I don't know, man. I can't justify the show. I don't know why in God's name it was ever made. I don't know who made it. What's wrong with you? I don't know, man. I'm going to give it like a 0.5 like Zach, because this is a waste. Horrible.
Alrighty. Do we have Love It or Hate? Did you find Love It or Hate?
Oh, we got it. Don't worry.
I mean, I guess I could see people loving it and hating it, so I guess I'm not surprised.
Which one do we want first, gang?
I guess I want Love It first. I feel like there's going to be people who love it, and it'll be interesting to see what they say.
Okay. Love it. Hate it. I hate this series. Wait, did you want Love It first, Jamie?
I did.
Okay. No, we'll switch to Love It.
All right. Switching gears, folks.
I love it. It has it all. Geez. By Vulture Man, January 2007. I've had Full Metal Panic turn anime haters into anime lovers. But most said that they loved how FMP wraps everything up with an excellent feel. Put the plot, characters, scenery, in the back of your mind and focus on the overall feeling of the series. Sure, the other stuff is great, and they're done very well, but a lot of other anime series have that. FMP has the feel of something interesting, something worthwhile, something just plain enjoyable. I could sit down and rewatch it over and over again and pick up something new every time. It's like watching a good actor play his part. Maybe that's what I'm trying to get at. These characters don't feel like drawings with people reading their lines. They don't do something so predictable that you already know the next scene. This anime feels original because the characters feel original, as they were real people. They're people that you could imagine meeting on the street, but you know that you never will. They all have personalities. Facial features actually show what mood they might be in. It's something that could be easily converted into a real-life acted movie just because it's so apparent that the storyboard operators went down to every excruciating detail of what everything needed to look like. I'll stop rambling now. Just go watch it. Make sure you keep, in the back of your mind, a mental note of what Suzuki's eyes look like between each episode. It may come in handy when you watch the second raid.
What?
Okay.
All right, wow.
They loved it.
I mean, they really did. They really loved it.
I mean, big time, man. These are the type of people, at least Susuke and what's his name? It's not Kurt, is it?
It's Kurz, I think.
Kurz? You don't want to meet
Kurz.
those people on the street. Those are the type of people you warn your kids about, right?
Yeah.
Big time.
That, so Vulture Man, that was 2007. We'll see I wonder what they think now, 13 years later.
Yeah, giving it some time. Yeah.
All right.
Vulture Man, if you're listening, I hope you are. It's a great name. Come on here. Let's talk about this.
Let's talk about your review from 2007.
Yeah, man. We gotta know. I mean, you still feel that way? Could you convince us? He said he turned people who didn't like anime with this show to like it.
That's what he said. I hate this series by Fat Remote 08 from March 2011. God, I hate this piece of shit anime. Hate it so much. And I think that I'm the only person who hates this anime because many people enjoyed it. The main problems is that the main story is forgettable. The characters are seriously annoying. And this character, Kaname Chidori, is beyond one of the worst characters that I've ever seen. Did I mention that there are a bazillion plot holes in this series? Because, believe it or not, there are a lot that explained absolutely nothing. And if you say that this anime is the best, I don't care. Overall, this anime is the worst anime series I've ever seen in my entire life. I am grading this anime an F-.
Whoa.
Wow.
No redeeming qualities whatsoever. Note, don't take my word for this. This review is all opinionated. If you like it, good. If you don't, I understand.
Kind of hedged at the end there.
Yeah. Well, I really like how it started out really strong.
Right out of the gate, right?
A lot of gusto.
Thank you, Fat Remote 08.
Did you look at what else he's reviewed? Or she?
No, I can.
Lots
of anime.
So, to jump into a little bit of trivia, again, I mean, I've said it the last bunch of episodes, these shows that are in Japan, they don't get a lot of trivia online. At least on IMDb, because it's self-curated and mostly curated from the United States. So we don't have anything. But the creator of the series is Soji Gato. And when you go to your Wikipedia page, it has a section that, all his work. So he's got a couple other animes, stuff like that. He's got Full Metal Panic. He's got an anime called Hyoka. He's got one called Amaji Brilliant Park and one called Copcraft. But he's also got a whole section entitled 2019 Greta Thunberg Twitter Controversy, which basically says that in December 2019, he wrote on Twitter, "I hate that kid," about Greta Thunberg. If I was ruler of the world, I would steal everything from her, knock her into the depths of despair, and ridicule her. On top of that, I'd feed her delicious piping hot steak and watch her shed bitter tears. I'd love to see that. And then people were like, not into that. And his like longtime collaborator on Full Metal Panic, Zero, was like, I'm not working with you again. And so, yeah, basically people were like, that's not cool. She's a kid. And what a weird thing for someone to say.
It is very odd.
Yeah. So that was the main thing. Do you guys want to do a quick Jeopardy?
Sure.
So given that this is called Full Metal Panic, I'm doing
Jeopardy.
one entitled Heavy Metal Heroes.
Oh, okay.
So who wants to? It's 200, 400, 600, 800, and 1,000. Who gave the lowest score? Zach, right? Or no? Yeah.
Kyle and I tied.
Yeah, maybe we tied, man.
But I said it first.
Okay,
that is very true.
Zach, you go first. 200, 400, 600, 800, 1,000.
Give me an old fashioned underhand slow ball.
So 200?
Yeah.
He bedeviled us as a lead singer of Black Sabbath before his reality TV fame.
Easy.
Yeah.
What? Oh my God, Zach.
No, it's I can't. Do I need to know the name of the show? Because it's something with the Osbournes.
Yeah, what's his name?
The name of the guy.
Oh, his full name?
Yeah.
Just
Oswaldin Osborne?
It's fine. Osborne is the correct answer. That's actually what the person who said, who is Osborne, was the answer. Ozzy Osbourne.
Oswaldin.
Oh, boy. God. Kyle, you're up next. 400, 600, 800,000.
Yeah, 400. Let's tick it up here.
With his work on songs like Hot for Teacher, some rank him as the greatest heavy metal guitarist.
Who is Eddie Van Halen?
Good call. You got 400. All right, 600, 800,000.
For me, I'll do 600.
Yeah,
this is my category. Come on now.
1980s heavy metal included this band that featured Izzy, Duff, and Axl.
It's got to be Guns N' Roses.
Wow. Okay, so you guys all answered correctly on the first one. So we're going to go to buzzer system. Say your name if you know the answer. This is the $800 question. We're not going to take it if you can't name this band fronted by Dee Snider.
Kyle.
Yep.
That's the buzzer, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Who is Twisted Sister?
Very good. Wow. There we go. All right, and 1,000.
Rock. We can do that much, and we won't get picked up.
Okay.
Right.
Good.
This fistful of metal band named itself for a disease.
Say it again.
This fistful of metal band named itself for a disease.
What is this fistful of metal band? What is that? What is that?
Probably it's a song by them, I think. This, quote, fistful of metal, quote, band named
Fistful of metal.
itself for a disease.
Saturday. I don't know.
I don't understand the clue very well.
It is a band named for a disease that had a song called Fistful of Metal.
Hold on. Is it
You need to say your name, idiot.
Kyle?
Do you want to buzz in though?
Yeah, I'm buzzing in.
Okay.
Who is... Oh, it's not a disease though, man.
It might be.
Anthrax.
It is. That's a disease.
Wow.
That's a disease.
Seriously?
Yeah, anthrax is a disease.
Clutch.
Come on.
That's more of a thrash band.
Okay.
Whatever, man.
I'm
Dude,
so bad
they
at
were
music. I don't even know what any of this stuff is.
They were on ATV Off-Road Fury, and it was Clutch.
I would have gotten two of those questions right.
It was making me
we
think
got 'em
of
all.
it was making me think of Disturbed because it was like 10,000 Fists is one of their
10,000 Fists.
songs, and then they've got Down with the Sickness.
Yeah. What disease do you have? I'm disturbed.
All right, and then quickly a quick Phantom Zone.
Wait, that was it?
That was it.
That's actually the 2000.
There was a 2000.
What do you mean? 200, 400, 600, 800, 1,000.
Oh,
We did them all.
I feel like we only did 4 prompts.
No, we did 5.
Nah, man.
No, I feel like we're
5.
missing one.
You each
I
did
got
1,
3 of
and then
them.
we did 2 that were buzzed.
We only did 1 that was buzzed.
We did
No, we
2
did
that
2.
were buzzed.
Twisted Sister.
Oh, yeah,
Anthrax.
you're right. You're right. Damn it.
Come on. You just got confused because Kyle dominated.
Yeah, good job, Kyle.
You know, when a lot of people look at me, like you guys are looking at me right now, they just see, wow, that guy looks so smart. Like, look at him.
That's true.
I like, though, you say that, but we see a little set of eyeballs poking out of the back.
Yeah,
of your right
I know
shoulder.
you see that. I was wondering if you'd see that, dude. He fell off the wall. I've had that guy since 2007. That's Darren. He's an orangutan.
Love you, Darren.
You see him in his frame. I want to get him in a really nice frame, but anyways.
Engage the Phantom.
Phantoms engaged, sir.
So I tried to do something a little bit different with this one just because I keep on going back to the same wells. Unfortunately, one of the ones that I wanted to do was a guy named Akio Atsuka. And Asuku. He's like a really famous anime voice actor, and he's been in a whole bunch of stuff throughout the years. And he was in this movie from the 90s called Silent Service, which, even from the name we'd know was a submarine film. And it's kind of got an interesting, I may have used it before, but I was having some trouble moving from it. But I wanted to mention it. It's basically about the first nuclear submarine launched by Japan, and the people serving on it have a mutiny in order to try to start a world war, which sounded pretty cool. And it's like an animated film. But yeah, I couldn't find anyone in that to really move forward. So then I just had to go back to the well. So the kid who is like his friend who really liked military stuff, Shinji, was voiced by Mamiko Nodo. And he was in Professor Layton and Eternal Diva, which I've used, I think, a couple times to move to this guy. So that's easy to do. So I'll just use that. But yeah, Silent Service is something to think about the next time we come around for maybe anime movie month, because that one's, I think, a movie, not really a TV show. And then, yeah, just the last little bit. The show really did remind me of... when I don't know if you knew this, but Ed Harris at one point he actually went undercover. He was researching a role, and he went back to high school, and it was crazy. Like he was he was prom king, obviously. He kicked the winning field goal in the championship. That was pretty cool. He was the lead of the musical, and everyone was like swooning in the audience. Like literally, like everyone fainted because it was Ed Harris. And then he was president of the Grease Club, which was, just fans. I guess we all knew about it. Like everyone, your high school had a Grease Club, right?
Like a Grease musical club, or people that were really passionate about Grease?
Both, obviously.
I had a few people that were pretty greasy in my high school.
No. I mean, it's more about aficionados and appreciators of Grease.
I don't think our high school. Our graduating class was 72 people. I don't think we had one of those.
That's probably why, because the high school that Harris was at was 42,000 people.
Okay.
And they had a Grease Club that consisted of all 42,000 students.
Wow!
Mm-hmm. And
everybody just loves Grease.
Yes, mostly what they were into. But yeah, and then he had never even made that movie. He just continued to be in high school, and actually was in high school for 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's Ed for you, man. Classic Ed. Always just living in the past.
I mean, it was a great... I mean, I think he was in there from the age of 42 to 50. And then when he was 50, he was like, I should probably leave.
Yeah, probably. It's about time to get back to acting. I got a wife and kids.
Well, he was acting the whole time. He won 2 Oscars while he was in high school.
Oh, very true. Oh, it's a real Joaquin Phoenix situation, with that rap career type thing.
That was just for a movie.
I don't know what's going on anymore.
Joaquin Phoenix, when he did that, he was on Letterman. Yeah, that all turned out that he was just filming a movie the whole time.
I know. Yeah, that was... Did you watch that movie?
No, I think there was gay sex, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but it didn't sound like it's not like he was like a druggie, like a rocker, behind the scenes, but like fake video cameras and stuff. It's not my cup of tea.
Dude, so I watched that actually when you and I were living in that bottom apartment and
on Wooster
in Bowling Green.
Yeah,
because it came out then. I watched that the night that thing dropped because I was so interested. Because I love Joaquin Phoenix. And like, and he's doing this crazy stuff. I was like, I better check this out. There are some risque scenes in there, but it's pretty interesting because you remember how, like, after that, Ben Stiller came out and made fun of him with that award ceremony. He dressed up like him and acted like him, how he was on Letterman. So earlier in that movie, Ben Stiller came to him and wanted him to do a movie, and he was like, and Joaquin was super rude to him, and basically told him to F off and that type of stuff. And then Ben Stiller went and did that. So like, okay, I guess there's all kinds of stuff going on behind the scenes that you never really know why these people are doing stuff. But anyways, that's that. Other actor news right now, we have a Twitter poll going on because Elon Musk challenged Johnny Depp to a cage match, or said he'd fight him in the cage. So we've got a poll up on our Twitter. Who do you think would win? Right now, Johnny Depp is crushing it, and Musk is the serious underdog. If you haven't got out there and voted, let us know who you think would win. It's open for about another week. And I guess we can talk about who the heck we think would win next week. But
I think our sister podcast, Joe Rogan, the Joe Rogan Experience, was debating that as well.
Oh, good. Yeah.
I think Joe's going, and he's a fighting and martial arts enthusiast. I think he's leaning Elon Musk.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see. We will. We can discuss. But it's subs worldwide. So Full Metal Panic left me kind of grasping at straws when it came to subs. We had a sub, right? Sometimes.
One of the guys
CGI.
was wearing a HMS Perisher hat, or not Perisher. That's our boy Andy.
Yeah.
Not Triumph.
I remember what you're talking about, though.
Oh, God, I got to look it up now.
I know. Gosh.
It's in our text chat.
It is in there somewhere. You let me know. Let me know. Well, we didn't get a lot of sub action, but what we did get action on was where our bad guy sent the people, the Autocratic Enclave of Kanka.
Nice.
So this is the Autocratic Enclave of Kanka worldwide.
So is that?
And I know
that's not a real place, though, right?
Not the Autocratic Enclave, but Kanka is a real place.
Okay.
Yeah, and for people who might be just tuning into Anime Month, yes, usually subs worldwide, I do discuss a submarine. I probably haven't done much of that in anime because I think it's just been robots and stuff like that, and I haven't really had much opportunity to talk about a submarine. So let's talk about. You have the information, Brom?
HMS Turbulent.
The Turbulent. So there, missed opportunity for me.
Why was he wearing that hat? Did he transfer from that sub or something?
Why was anything going on in this show, man?
I don't know. I don't have those answers.
They just did it to do it. So, anyways, I looked online. I couldn't find anything about this region being some kind of Autocratic enclave. Couldn't, what does that term even mean? Couldn't find it. But one of the main attractions in this area is Lake Kanka, and took me to some new websites. Usually I get a lot of my information from Wikipedia. You guys ever heard of a website called Lakepedia?
No.
Yeah, it's a thing.
I should.
Yeah, you should know. You're huge into lakes. So a lot of this information is from Lakepedia. This region is rich with fish and birds. Its ancient name, Kanke Omo, stands for Seas of Bird Feathers. I don't know if they've ever seen the lake near me, but if they could name that Sea of Goose Feathers and Goose Shit, I wish they would. It's all over the place. So, this is when I knew I had to go with Lakepedia, because Wikipedia said that Lake Kanka has 52 species of fish. Got on Lakepedia. Oh, hey, guess what? It says it's got 75. Discrepancy.
Whoa.
I don't know who to believe anymore.
Discrepancy.
But I was like, I'm going to go with Lakepedia. I got to go with Lakepedia because they had some cooler pictures here. So with 75 species of fish, they also have 322 species of aquatic plants, 620 different types of vascular plants, 43 species of mammals, including red wolves, Amur wild cats, Amur tigers, Siberian roe deer, sika deer, and wild boars, along with 327 species of birds that winter, migrate, and nest here. The area will see up to 300 to 350,000 ducks and 100 to 130,000 geese. It is also home to the rare soft-shell Chinese turtle.
Ooh, delicious.
That sounded very
Whoa,
sultry.
I think it's endangered, man.
Is it? Are you sure?
Maybe it said rare.
Maybe there's
so
too many of them.
It could be.
Maybe
One
someone
turtle
needs to
per
come
lake.
in and just like take a little bite.
Grab one. Yeah, that's soft shell. I mean,
I munch on it like an apple.
God,
Right?
it's a turtle, Jamie. Anyways, this is a
soft,
relatively
soft shell turtle.
Yeah. Yum, yum. It's a relatively shallow lake. Has an average depth of only 15 feet. Max depth of 35 feet, which is pretty crazy because if you look at a picture of this lake, it is quite big.
That's weird. So you could basically stand and just have your head just poking out, right?
Yeah, I am 16 feet tall, so it is a problem. All my suits are custom made. The chair I'm sitting in right now, custom house, custom made, everything. It's ridiculous. Car. I have to drive an RV and lay all the way back. Yeah. So anyways, the longest point the lake stretches is 56 miles. At its widest, it is 28 miles wide. And have you guys ever heard of residence time when it comes to water? I hadn't. And you guys know what that means?
I do because I just looked it up on Wikipedia.
Oh, okay. Oh, there you go. So
because I also saw it and I was like, what does that mean?
Exactly. That's the amount of time that a water molecule is within a body of water. So the average time a water molecule is in this body of water is 9.9 years, which I think is quite a long time.
Is it though?
I don't know. I guess I have nothing to base that on. But, if you think about it, hey, I'm swimming in this water. Somebody was swimming in 10 years ago. What the heck?
It's funny because I used to know a lot about this because it is, now that I'm looking at like the Wikipedia page for resident time, it is a big part of chemical engineering, which is what I have my degrees on.
Oh, there you go.
Because it's all part of batch reactors, blood flow reactors in general, which was I had to take a whole class on reactors.
Dang,
in
man.
college.
You know all about this.
Yeah, I do.
There you go. Average temp of the water in July is 68 degrees, which I thought was pretty cool for being such a shallow lake. Average temp in January, -6. So that's, maybe get some ice fishing going on there. The lake is located mostly in Russian territory of Serbia, and the northern section is in China's Heilongjiang province. I'm sure I pronounced that long. And in 1996, Russia and China came together to create a nature reserve around the lake to help preserve it. It also is a very fertile region with the soil, so agriculture is a big industry. And that's all I've got on Lake Kanka.
Yeah, the only other thing I'm seeing on the Wikipedia is it's in that area of Russia, Primorsky Krai, and you can see it borders like China a bunch, which is, as you mentioned, and then at the very bottom in this tiny little sliver, it borders North Korea. Yeah. This tiny little North Korean border, so tiny.
There you go, man.
So downside of video, I'm not allowed to walk away during Kyle's segment anymore.
Right, I can't do.
I'm sitting there watching you.
I've let the darkness take over my.
Sometimes I'll let the cat in, put the cat out, feed the cat.
I'm still here technically.
Watching.
You can see me, but it's very dark.
You're in the darkness.
Yes, I live in the darkness. Actually, I was technically, you adopted the darkness. I was born into it.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I feel like I've heard that somewhere before.
No, I just made it up.
I believe it.
Yep. It's ointment.
Just
ointment
like you
original.
make up all these Ed Harris movies.
No. Those are real.
All right.
All right, you got a countdown for us tonight, good sir?
I've got it.
Should we play it?
Yeah. Please do. 2, 3, ready to fire, sir.
Commence the countdown.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Give it to me.
All right, so got a nifty little countdown. It's legitimately fun. It is going to be my top 5 anime fun facts to bring us home during Anime Month. And we will revisit anime someday. We've got a whole, magazine full of animes ready to fire off in the future. But for the time being, we are putting it on the shelf. And to conclude us this month, here we go with top 5 anime fun facts. Number 5, the average anime... Zach, are you listening? Okay.
I don't need to be looking at you to be listening, Ben.
No, I'm just teasing you. The average anime cost $100,000 to $200,000 American to produce per episode. The average Japanese animator earns less than minimum wage.
Minimum wage.
That much?
What's minimum wage?
Yes.
In Japan or in the United States?
I don't know.
I guess it must be the United States, because how would they be less than
Probably.
minimum wage?
Probably. I did find that American animators, your Disney, your Pixar, your DreamWorks, they make a handsome amount of money. But I don't know. I guess Japanese anime is so prevalent, and there's so many Japanese animators that there's very low demand because there's such high supply that they don't make a very good wage. But episodes are very, very costly.
I've heard also that sometimes in these fields, like, it'll be one of those things where companies keep on undercutting each other. Like, there's a number of companies that are vying for the job, and then they'll just be like, we could do it for less, we could do it for less, we could do it for less. And so then they keep on cutting down how much people make in order to, make that sliver of a profit.
Yeah, that sounds very possible, very accurate. Number 4, anime traces back to 1907. But was perfected by one artist, Osamu Tezuka. He created Astro Boy in 1951, citing Disney's Bambi and Mickey Mouse as inspiration.
Seems
Where
like
my
natural.
Astro Boy fans at?
Yeah. Wait, wasn't Astro Boy, wasn't Nick Cage a voice in Astro Boy?
Oh, that's right. There was a Hollywood version, wasn't there?
Yeah, I believe so. I think Nick Cage was in it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think so.
Wow.
That wasn't too long ago. 5, 6, 7 years ago, maybe.
No, it's further back.
All right, everyone we all need you to pay attention for this one because I think you'll all relate. We are talking about the first 3 Pokemon ever designed. Do you guys know what they were? Can you name any of
first 3 designed?
The very first 3 designed who was the big artist? Ken Sugimori, maybe?
Bulbasaur?
Yeah, was it the original 3 that you got to pick, or this is that were designed? Like
when Pokemon basically was pitched, go all the way back. What were the first 3 basically drawn up and like this is Pokemon? These are 3 of what will ultimately be 150
I'm gonna throw
of
Squirtle.
Yeah, you'd hope it'd be Squirtle, Bulbasaur, and Charmander.
All right,
I think
each of you give me one. We'll see if any of you guys hit one.
Blattle, Reapostor, and Lab Blaster.
Those sound like the South Park Chin Pokemon.
What?
I'm pretty sure none of those are real.
No, those are number 682, or number 786, and another one. It was actually the other one was number 1. It's the first one.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Zach, the Pokemon superfan, you're going to go with Squirtle?
I just feel like that would be such an easy one. Oh, let's come up with a thing that we're going to go to fight. What about a squirrel and a turtle? Okay. So.
What about a Psyduck, though, man?
This is like a platypus, though, kind of.
What about a Snorlax?
I mean, unless it's something off the wall like a Jigglypuff.
Pretty good, though. Jigglypuff's pretty nice.
What's
the one that was like a mime?
No.
Mr. Mime?
Lock in your answers now.
Yes, Mr. Mime, that's my guess.
I'll do my boy Squirtle Squad. Squirtle.
I will say one of the three was named in all of your guys' rambling.
I bet
probably Jigglypuff.
Jigglypuff, I bet, is the one that was named.
Maybe I'm going to go with Clefairy then.
We do have a winner, and a winner alone. It's Kyle, because Clefairy, Rhydon, and Lapras were the first three Pokemon designed.
Lapras was another one I was thinking, but Rhydon I never would have guessed.
No way.
There you go. Number 2, it is estimated that, this is crazy, 85% of the music listened to in Japan is title tracks from anime shows.
What? Wow. Seriously?
I don't
Correct.
believe that.
That is real. That is the real deal.
All right. Well, think about right when the show Friends was super popular. Remember that the theme
that's
song?
True. Yeah, that's right.
That was everywhere.
I do think probably 85% of music listened to at that point was the Friends theme song. That's what I heard. It's a fact.
I would agree as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have an honorable mention, or as some say, an honorable menchie. Ghost in the Shell inspired the Wachowski sisters to create the Matrix trilogy. When they pitched their idea to producer Joel Silver, they played him a DVD of the anime film and said, "We want to do that for real."
Really? Dude, that's all it takes to... We can do that?
Yeah, we pop in a DVD copy of Red Snow and be like, we want to do this one, but better.
Again.
Yeah. We want to do a shot-for-shot remake.
We want to try this one again.
Yeah. Dude, Jamie and I did watch that finally.
We're like,
we can talk about that later.
I'm just going to play you one scene. It's where this the bad guy has sex and he keeps his jeans on. We're going to be doing that, but even more of it. And the producer's like, yes, please.
Hangs dong. Number 1. Here we go. This also speaks to you guys. You thought The Simpsons was a long-running animated television show? What fucking idiots. Seizon-san first aired in 1969 and is still running to this day, tallying over 7,500 episodes.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, new podcast.
Yeah.
Every episode, each episode is a recap of an episode. 75. We only have 7,500 episodes to make.
There we go. Do that till we die.
There we go. Those are my top anime fun facts. Wrapping up Anime Month. Thank you all for joining us on this anime ride. Thanks again to the R Star Blazers Discord. You guys were stellar in helping us out and keeping us going. We've got a lot more coming, but we're going to be shifting gears, and Kyle will share some information in the days ahead about that. But thank you again. That is my countdown.
We do know that anime fans are prone to Funkos. So next month
perfect transition.
I was worried for a second.
Yeah, don't worry. We will be announcing next month. We do have a little giveaway coming. I'll announce it here on August 1st for what it is. One of them is a Funko. I'm not going to tell you which one it is yet, but just be ready for that. We'll have it on social media, and we will talk about it on our next episode as well. So look for that. We can't really tell you what we're going to do next because it might give it away. So
it is on theme with our next theme, though.
Give it away now.
It definitely is.
We're not just pandering by giving away Funkos.
No, we could try that though. You know,
yeah, we could just give away Funkos. Why not?
Every week, just hey, here's a Funko. Oh yeah, Funko Cast.
All right, I think that's everything.
Wrong. We actually
have a few things left. Not just Zach Facts, but we do have some listener questions.
Oh, that's right. My God, we keep on taking these episodes so long, but it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I'm fine. It's fine.
Zach doesn't look like
our
it's
sister
fine.
podcast, Joe Rogan, today had a 4-hour episode with Post Malone.
There we go.
Well, I would listen to that one.
It is hilarious, and there are wrenches. It's a laugh riot. Check it out after this episode. But take it away with those sexy, succulent Zach Facts.
Zach Facts. It's
Pick
Zach
'em up, though.
Facts.
Pick 'em up, the
When
Zach
you're
Facts.
going down. Get some Zach Facts when you're going down.
All right, over under again. 3.5 Zach Facts tonight. What do you guys think?
Given how Zach is reacting right now, I'm going to go decidedly under 3 Zach Facts.
Dude, I think this guy might pull something out tonight. Just with how bad this show was, I think I'm gonna go over.
I kind of like that too, Kyle. I'm gonna go over as well.
I must have missed. Did we do the listener questions?
We're doing
going
them
to.
after the Zach Facts.
Oh, after Zach Facts. That way we decided.
Yeah.
Man, I really just. Okay, Zach Facts. I'm not even gonna spoil it. I'm just gonna start it, and we're gonna see how many I've got.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I like
Great,
that.
that's good, yeah.
And I can prove it. If I have to. But all right, which one? What am I gonna read first? Okay, here we go.
He's like, I gotta make these up now.
He has at least 2, guys.
You know that we gave some low ratings for this one, but some famous people really like this. Specifically, Mr. Elon Musk. He claims to be an animaniac.
Is that the Zach Fact?
Animaniac, man.
Yeah.
Wasn't that a Warner Brothers animated show?
Yeah, man. You used to watch Animaniacs when you were a kid?
Yeah.
That and like Freakazoid and Pinky and the Brain, that type of stuff?
Yeah.
Fact number 2. When Full Metal Panic became the greatest anime in the world, the creator was asked, how much money you bringing in? He said he brings home 6 figures. Like Funko figures.
Oh, Funko figures?
Well, they're like any figurines.
Oh, figurines.
Oh.
Now I'm getting it.
Or like a lady's figure.
See, good thing this is just facts. This isn't supposed to be funny, so.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, good.
Are these
yeah,
real?
that's true.
I totally would believe both of those so far.
Yeah.
Full Metal Panic, that was so big.
How big was it?
Full Metal Panic was so big, it took up the entire internet.
What are these? There could be infinite number of these. I'm definitely going over on the 3.
Like, what are these?
Okay, fact number 4.
Oh, no.
Oh!
And that's all I've got tonight for you. But here's fact number 4. Get ready for so much more Full Metal Panic crossovers. We'll have Full Metal Panic at the Disco.
Nice.
My Full Metal Jacket is gone. I'm panicking. A novel. FNP and me. FNP and me too, this time with you. And lastly, did someone say reboot? Yup. Full Metal Panic Deluxe Edition with over 149 seconds of extras.
Good.
And Full Metal, based on the novel Panic by Sapphire.
Nice. I like that one.
See, I can do Zach Facts.
Thank you for those facts, Zach.
Thank
They're
you,
wonderful.
Zach.
He's shaking his head. He's disappointed in himself.
Oh, those were.
All right. We do have listener questions. And now it's time for a letter from listeners like you.
You know,
all right.
It's awesome.
Oh, man. I know. When I recorded that, I was like, this is the one.
That can get an intro and love it, hate it, doesn't.
All right. I'm working. I got to work on something. I got that really metal intro I was working on. Trust me, man.
Kyle's been working
I've
on
had
our
this
Christmas
one for
gifts.
years. I'll get you love it, hate it. Don't you worry about it. I'll get you something. Anyways, this comes in via MacEstudios.com. So if you got a question, get out there to MacEstudios.com. Go to our contact us page. You can submit a form right there. You don't even have to tell us who you are. We just want to know you're listening and that you have a question or comment. Anything. I don't really care. Whatever it is.
Talk to us, please.
Yeah. So this comes in from Confused in Iowa. So this actually, I do have to confess, these came in last week, but our episode was getting way too long, so we could not get to them. So from Confused in Iowa says, just listened to your latest podcast and heard you guys also fix them. I have an old JVS.
We're talking about
VCR
VCRs.
Yeah.
and the jog wheel is a little messed up. How
Okay.
should I repair? A little grease? Duct tape? I think the replacement is out of the question due to the age, at least 20 plus years old. Cordially yours, Confused in Iowa.
Well, I wouldn't say replacement's out of the question. I mean, Kyle, how many VCRs do you have? 12, 14, something like that?
All right, I'm down to 2 in my room.
Well, who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe one of your VCRs isn't working so well. Throw that jog wheel from one of those VCRs into this other one. You got a brand spanking new. You used to have 2 not very well working VCRs. Now you got 1 working VCR and one that doesn't work at all. But
That's all you need.
that's one possibility. The other possibility is, you got your little jog wheel. I was having a little trouble with the jog wheel as well in the one that I had. Sometimes it's not even the jog wheel that's the issue. Maybe you got something else going on. It was having an issue with one of the spools, and so the tape from the VCR tape, the VHS tape, was all off, and it was making it all kooky. So maybe it's not even that. Maybe it's something else going on that VCR. So check it out. Don't be afraid to just take that thing apart like I did, and then sometimes there's pieces left over, and you're like, guess these pieces don't matter, and now you just have pieces lying around, but the VCR still works.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's not working,
Or
you
grease.
have
I mean,
nothing left to
grease
lose.
does work. Grease probably would work.
Yeah.
Grease always works. And if you rip it apart and it doesn't work, I've picked up many a VCR from Goodwill for like $2. That's all they cost. They're going for next to nothing right now.
I took apart one of my VHS tapes, and then there was a piece in it that was broken. And I took it out, put the thing back together, and the tape worked again. Don't know what the piece was for, but it was stopping it from working. Yeah. So sometimes, taking something out fixes the problem.
Well, dude, I'll tell you what, man. I have a little hand camcorder that I got from my parents. I'm trying to convert these videos and stuff. And I had a tape that wasn't ejecting, so I flipped it over, smacked it on the bottom, and then the tape popped out, and the spool fell out. It's not even secure in there. So I just had this, you slide it back in, you don't even secure it with anything, and now it works fine. Like, I don't get it. Is what it is. All right.
I'm sure we're helpful.
We are really helpful. So grease works. Might not be your jog wheel. And
take it apart.
You can always get one of these for like $2.
Right.
At a Goodwill if one is near you. All right. So we have another letter here from Emily, and I just have to give a shout out because we always talk about our library and how great they are, and this is just an example of how great our library is. So, says, longtime listener, first-time emailer here. I work at the infamous public library, and during one of your Godzilla episodes, you mentioned a movie that the librarians couldn't find in the interlibrary loan service. And while, yes, during these COVID times, we still don't have interlibrary loan, we are, anyways, they said they're listening to an episode, and she thought, aha, challenge accepted. She found it. She cannot remember the title right now, but if we figure it out, we can let her know, and she will get me that movie on interlibrary loan. And also, she gave us a suggestion here while she was cataloging Russian movies. She found one. I can't pronounce this. It's like Pervel Posle Boga. It's in Russian subtitles, and it's a Russian spy submarine movie about Alexander Marinesko.
There we go. Add it to the list.
And then we can get the movie.
So it's a little bit of a mystery for us to solve as well. What movie were we talking about for the library?
We were aware of this question. I'll even tell you, Emily, Jamie and I went back to Godzilla Movie Month, and we re-listened to our own series, unknowingly that we were each doing that. But we're going to divide and conquer. We will figure out what Kyle mentioned, and we will certainly tap you to procure that movie for us.
Oh, and and if you want challenges for finding something, I got all kinds of movies that are super challenging that you could find. Black Sea 213. That's one we've talked about. Not on this podcast, but amongst ourselves. That I don't even know exists. I'm not sure it was ever released on any format. One called
Submarine Seahawk is one.
Yeah, Slow Bullet, which is a film that was produced by a independent movie rental place in Florida and exists only on VHS, and I can't find it anywhere because probably they only made like 20 of them.
It's disappointing.
I mean, yeah, but I will say, I did check today, and we are not yet, Interlibrary Loans is not back yet, but it says it's very close. That's what it said on the website.
Ooh,
we're almost there.
Very soon.
It's going to change my life.
We are. So she found this movie. I guess it's not a standalone. It was included with like a double feature type thing. So it wasn't popping up when I was looking for it. Yeah. So
that's a good idea.
Yeah. Ways to search like that. So Emily, we will get back to you. We will figure out what I can't remember if it was Frankenstein Conquers the World or not, but I thought I found that one. We'll have to figure it out. That's all right. That's all listener questions. Thank you guys for sending stuff in. We do appreciate it. We always love to hear from you.
Support your local public library.
Thank you for listening to Submersion. Don't forget to subscribe for new episodes every Thursday. If you like what you heard, please leave us a rating wherever you listen. Want to interact with us? Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We also love to get messages from all of you. If you have a suggestion, a comment, or just anything you'd like to share, please email us at macestudios@gmail.com.